car brand.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Put your hand in my hand. Put your hand in my hand.
Hi, welcome to another Cold Fusion video. Volkswagen. Pretty much everyone on the planet knows that name. But the thing is, this company is a bit of a dark horse. They actually own a lot of car brands which you've heard of. In fact, every fourth car sold in Europe is from the Volkswagen Group. Volkswagen has been a popular suggestion for a video, so let's do it. In this video, we'll talk about the intriguing origins, size, and some interesting facts about VW. Volkswagen, translated from German to English, means the people's car. And that's exactly what the company was created for back in 1937, to make a car for the people of Germany. In order to understand and really appreciate the history of VW, we must look at where it all started, with a man named Ferdinand and a car called the Beetle. By 1948, Ferdinand was no longer directly involved in the Beetle, but went on to work on another project, the Porsche 356. It was the car that began the Porsche legacy. As it turns out, after the Americans got a taste for the Beetle, they actually ended up loving it, and the Jaguar became a sideshow. As the river of production increased, the Beetle began gaining worldwide recognition for its reliability due to a high standard of engineering and quality control.
What is it?
It's a 200-year-old Volkswagen. They really built these things, didn't they?
By 1955, Volkswagen had produced 1 million Beetles. The late 1950s and early 60s saw the peak of the Beetle's popularity, with some customers having to wait 12 to 18 months to receive their order. It was even becoming an icon of the countercultural revolution happening in 1960s America. The success of the Beetle allowed VW to acquire Audi in 1965. All was looking bright for Volkswagen at this time, but the Beetle fever wouldn't last forever, and sales began to decline in 1973. As a reaction to this, VW came out with an all-new generation of cars. Out of this decision came the Passat, Golf, and Polo. In the 1980s, they would acquire a 75% stake in the Spanish car manufacturer Seat. In 1998, VW would add Bentley, Lamborghini, and Bugatti to its portfolio. 2 years later, they would also take Skoda on board. 2010 saw VW acquire the Italian automotive design house Italdesign Cugario. This was a pretty big deal, as Italdesign is credited with the aesthetic creations of a wide variety of cars for various companies including Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, BMW, Chevrolet, Fiat, Ford, Ferrari, Hyundai, Lexus, Lotus, Mitsubishi, and several others. Their designs always stood out as classically futuristic. The most famous of them is the DeLorean DMC-12 in 1981. It was of course the car used in the Back to the Future series. In 2012, VW's subsidiary Audi would purchase Italian motorbike maker Ducati, further increasing VW's stature in the automotive industry. Today, VW has turned into one of the largest and most valuable companies. It is ranked 7th in the 2016 Fortune Global 500 list. It has a market cap of $63.8 billion as of November 2016 and has maintained the largest market share in Europe's automotive market for the last 2 years. VW is responsible for producing 13% of all passenger cars globally. In 2015, it produced 9.93 million motor vehicles. This translates roughly to 19 cars every minute. This is the second largest number of any manufacturer on the planet behind Toyota. In addition to the other car brands mentioned earlier, VW also owns MAN Trucks and Porsche. In total, they have approximately 340 subsidiaries. The company has over 610,000 employees. For perspective, Ford and General Motors have a combined workforce of 448,000. And VW's biggest competitor, Toyota, has about 346,000, nearly half the amount that Volkswagen has. Volkswagen's employee force is a figure larger than the armed forces of Australia, Italy, Croatia, and Norway combined. The company has 121 production facilities in 20 European countries and a further 11 in the Americas, Asia, and Africa. VW operates in a total of 150 countries. They do more than just manufacture cars though. Volkswagen Financial Services operates in 51 countries and specialize in loans, investment, insurance for both private and business enterprises. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the video, but first, let's take a look at a few fun facts about Volkswagen. Number 6. The classic VW Beetle was built from 1938 to 2003. During this period, 21,529,464 Beetles were built. It is the longest running production model of any car, and VW claims that it is the best-selling car in history since it did not change substantially during its production run. Toyota has sold over 40 million Corollas since 1966, but the Corolla nameplate was applied to 11 generations, so it cannot be counted as the same model. Number 5. On the 18th of September 2015, VW was caught cheating on emission tests via a software code that detected when emission tests were being conducted and altered emission controls for better results. Affected cars' emissions were 35 to 40 times the legal levels. This incident, known as Dieselgate, led to a drop in the market value of Volkswagen by $30 billion. It was a shameful period for the VW Group, but the fallout from this incident has mostly passed. Number 4. Volkswagen named some of its cars after wind currents across the world. For example, the Polo is named after the northern polar wind. The Passat is named after a German trade wind. The Jetta is named after the jet stream in subtropic to middle latitudes. Number 3. 3 Volkswagen cars were named in the list of the top 10 best-selling cars ever: the Volkswagen Passat, Golf, and Beetle. Number 2. An entire town was built to accommodate for the workers of the first VW cars. It would become Wolfsburg, the 5th largest city in the German state of Lower Saxony. The local football team is owned by VW and is ranked 30th, just behind Liverpool, in the UEFA League standings. The Wolfsburg VW plant is still the largest car factory under a single roof in the world. Number 1. In 1932, Stalin invited Ferdinand Porsche to the Soviet Union. Stalin wanted to advance industrial development in the Soviet Union with the help of experts from capitalist countries. He offered Ferdinand the position of General Director of Development for the Soviet auto industry. According to Porsche's son, after much consideration, Porsche refused. The reason? Not the fact that it was the Soviet Union, but more so the language barrier. How could he manage such a colossal engineering task if he couldn't even communicate in the native tongue? So in a quirk of history, if Porsche accepted, the Beetle could have been a symbol of the Soviet Union. So with that brings us to the end of this video. But there's one question remaining. So without a doubt, Porsche was a genius engineer and designer, the one in a lifetime kind, but the shadow of the Nazi legacy still hangs over his work. So the question is, and historians still debate, was Porsche purely into the technical details of building a car for the masses and, like many people of the day, didn't comprehend the political climate? Or was he actually fond of Hitler? Some even say that he had no choice in the matter and would have been put to death by Hitler if he had refused his offer. Regardless, everybody can currently appreciate the engineering prowess VW Group has under its belt today. Okay, so that's enough from me. Hope you enjoyed this video about the history, size, and some fun facts about the VW Group. If you want to see more videos like this or other cool stuff, feel free to subscribe to this channel. If you know someone that might be interested in this topic, or maybe even drives a VW, show them this video. This has been Digogo, you've been watching Cold Fusion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next video. Cheers, have a good one.
Cold Fusion. It's new thinking.